Hello and welcome back after a short break to the Get Sustainable show produced by ESPN in partnership with Green Europe Today and Livestream Studio. We continue our series with Mr. Piotr Mrowiec, Associate Partner at Rödl Partner. Piotr, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you? Thank you for having me here, Mirek.
Thank you very much. Now, Rödl Partner is a consulting firm, one that specialises in offering comprehensive support for entrepreneurs in the implementation of renewable energy projects. You offer legal counsel and specialise in providing services to clients in the energy industry, especially in the area of renewable energy. You've been advising clients over the years in the development of projects in Poland, supplying due diligence and acquired RES projects and supporting them, your clients in the transactional and post-transactional stages. One of the key areas of your operation is managing investor relations in renewable energy initiatives. So what key projects did you support here in Poland, and where do you see the greatest opportunities for growing your presence in Central and Eastern Europe?
Yes, indeed, Mirek. As Rödl Partner, we are advising since the beginning of green transition in Europe in renewable energy, since 2000 in Germany, and coming to Poland from 2005. Actually, we have been advising in the biogas sector industry before infamous 10H regulation for wind sector came into force. We have done a lot in wind industry, wind farm, supporting for development of wind farms. Actually, at the moment, some of the projects are as well ongoing in Poland. And we are as well supporting our clients here. But a couple of years ago, in 2016, we had beginning to massively supporting our clients in solar projects, because there has been a boom in photovoltaic in Poland.
Absolutely.
So here in this area, there has been a lot of projects that we have been let's say checked. There has been due diligence projects, due diligence reports written. The project has been checked. We have been representing our clients before energy regulators, let's say dealing with the auction model and so on and so on. Yes, so this is key area actually at the moment of our advice, but not only. We are as well dealing with other issues like geothermal energy and so on. Now hoping that wind energy will coming back. There will be. This is definitely an opportunity, not only for Poland, but especially because there has been, let's say, wind industry or new projects development has been dead for a couple of years, unfortunately. As for the opportunities, not only for Poland but for central,
general, yes.
for regional as well, there is. Actually, I will not say anything new. What we need to do is green transition, so it's more solar, it's more wind, it's perhaps more biogas plants as well in the whole region when it is possible. But this is one issue, but of course, modernization of grid or the infrastructure.
That's one of the key challenges here in Poland.
Exactly. Perhaps we can touch on this later as well. But as we see the world and the issue with the problem with fossil fuels and so on, so the opportunity is the whole renewable energy sector is an opportunity. Actually, there are challenges.
Of course.
Definitely, but we need actually deploy more of the renewables.
We're living in a time where there's a huge change happening in the region. There is a huge transition towards green energy, and it must be a very tough challenge for you guys to be right in the middle of that, managing all these changes for your clients. Now, our audience probably includes many business representatives who are working on such projects at this very moment. So what are the key challenges involved at any given stage of the investment process, and how can they overcome common challenges and threats?
Yeah, there are challenges,
Yes.
and the challenges are because of the deployment of renewables. So just to keep it simple,
Okay.
the let's say low-hanging fruit has been picked already.
Okay.
Yeah. So there has been a lot of solar projects that are in development, but the crucial issue is free capacity, energy capacity. So get the connection to the grid. So the grid infrastructure in Poland is not capable to, let's say, switch or connect additional solar or
in certain regions it must be
yes. So it's really challenging, not only in Poland. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we have the same problem in UK, in Germany, with wind energy, which is located in north, to get the energy down to south.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, let's say, common challenge. Here in Poland, definitely what is challenging is the very strict law regulation for wind energy. So this 10H regulation, that's not allowed to develop new wind projects.
Yeah.
So this is really problematic. But fortunately, after years of struggling, there will be some easement, and this is definitely an opportunity also for the investors. So yeah, this is something that is definitely challenging. Perhaps one issue, if you asking me about threats and so on, I do not like that it sounds like commercial, but definitely if you are coming to some foreign market, you need a good advisor on the side.
Yeah.
Because just funny, but on the same
the local
page,
know-how
yeah, definitely on the same page. Scary example is that we have this was 2 years ago. We have dealt with a project. Our client from Italy asked us to perform some due diligence.
Yeah.
We get the documents from the seller. It came out everything has been falsified, for example.
Oh my word. Okay.
So it was really, this is extraordinary.
Yeah.
It's not like common practice here, not at all, but you have to be very vigilant.
Yeah. So I guess for new projects, one of the key things that you should start thinking about is in renewable energy is whether you can get it connected to the grid with ease.
Definitely.
That's one of the starting points.
Yes, exactly. If you are buying a project, please be careful to pay for it when you don't know if they get a connection to the grid.
Could cause problems.
This is crucial.
The main source of energy production in Poland still comes from burning fossil fuels, mainly coal. However, solar and wind is making good progress, with renewables managing to achieve a record 67% of total demand across the country just recently in June. This is really encouraging news, given that only a few years ago the annual average was just about 10%. And this is due to, as you mentioned, a spike in installations. Just in February this year, we noted 45,000 new renewable energy installations across the country. What should we attribute this success down to, and how has the regulatory and legal environment changed over the years?
Yeah, perhaps this or in other words, this is definitely something that is that I am happy about. That a lot of new solar projects are running. The new solar installations are on work. But that what you said, this almost 70%.
Yeah.
It's like it was lucky strike.
It was
on
an
Sunday.
anomaly.
Yeah,
Yes. It
yeah.
was, well, it's
because
not the
it
norm.
was Sunday. Yeah. So the offices were closed.
Yes.
Production facilities were closed mostly, and
Everyone was on holiday.
and it was windy.
Yes.
And it was sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is not a normal production,
No.
let's say, from renewables. That's why this is, let's say, this challenge also with renewable, that you have you have the energy when it's sunny or when it's windy, but the real problem is to storage it.
It is.
And this is something that we need, that we are awaiting actually some good regulation for storage facilities, perhaps hydro pumped storage facilities, batteries, and so on and so on. But you asked me about regulation, how it looks like in Poland. Good and bad.
Okay.
So very good regulation. It was this auction scheme that has been introduced in 2016. It and really, I can say that helped to for many projects, and it was very cost efficient for us, for customers, because we do not pay a penny, I would say, because now the strike prices from the auctions are lower than market prices, so the producers are paying back actually. So this was very good system. It helped at the beginning. What the second issue is offshore legislation. It will come.
Up, yes.
It will speed up definitely. Pretty dark page is wind in Poland. As I said a couple of years ago, the industry was, let's say, driven to the death, I would say, frankly. But now it's
slowly seeing a comeback.
It's come back due to the new regulation and due to the projects that will came in force, I say, in a couple of months. We could do more in comparison to other countries like Germany or Italy, Spain, or Czech Republic, for example. Our energy policy, I would say, was not so bad. We there was no, let's say, such problems like in Spain or Italy, where the tariffs has been cut down. So this is definitely something that I can think it's from a positives.
While we're on the subject of energy, I'd like to touch on the darker side for a second. We have seen that energy can be used and is being used as a tool of war. So should the war in Ukraine change our perspective on the energy transition? And how should we develop energy policy to be prepared for such threats?
Yeah, it is indeed a tragedy. From this, we have to learn somehow. And the first thing is, from my point of view, to get independent from fossil fuels from Russia. Our dependency is like 35%, so mostly coal. In Germany, it is 31%. They have their problems with natural gas and the whole issue with Nord Stream and so on. But here is a crucial issue to get the independency, and in my opinion, the independency goes through renewables. Yeah, of course, as I said then at the beginning or earlier, we need to have the capacities to storage the energy.
Transform the way we approach energy production and energy use.
Exactly.
It needs to be a bit more localized.
Localized. This is also a very important issue. I have seen terrible pictures, like some bomb has been thrown off a PV plant in Ukraine.
Yeah.
But actually, some of the modules has been destroyed.
Yeah.
In few days, they can be restored,
Yeah.
and the facility can
at
go.
quite a low cost as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. If you bomb, let's say, conventional power plant, it takes really weeks or months to
has a
restore
huge
it.
impact on the grid as
Exactly, exactly. And if you have decentral power plants,
Yes.
PV power plants, wind power plants, storage facilities,
it's a safer option for security.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So this is one issue. Second issue is good interconnection with our neighboring countries, with our friends like Germany, Sweden, Norwegian, when we can also, what is really problematic, when we can import the energy.
Yeah.
Now the import of the energy and export on the same time in other timelines is growing. This is a good connection. So the European Union has grown also to the
Inter-reliant on each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this will help definitely to get rid of the problems with dependency from Russia or other countries with fossil fuels.
Okay.
Yeah. And on the same page, we are helping the environment.
Finally, Piotr, one area you offer advice on is not only how to successfully transition towards independent and low emission energy sources, but also how to capitalize on this with smart business strategies. So can you share some more information on this subject, perhaps with a few case studies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely one area is to help or support, let's say, investors that are dealing with facilities that are producing energy, so producers. The other this is actually also a core area for us, is support our clients that are not familiar with energy solutions or energy production to get them to the green transition. Yeah. So, for example, our clients from automotive, they have large facilities and they are ideal for PV rooftop solutions.
Yes.
Yeah. There is tricky. There is a lot of question as well. Do I need, for example, to use all of the energy on site?
Yes.
Can I sell the energy to the grid or to my neighbors, and so on and so on? And we are helping them to understand how it's work, what is possible,
at a
what's
business
not.
level.
Exactly, exactly. So this is one issue, and some of they are saying, okay, we need to go green because our cooperation partner, due to the ESG policies and so on, are demanding this, this from us. So this is one. This is key issue. Other one, more perhaps sophisticated, but make definitely sense, are renewable PPAs. This is something that can secure our clients, secure the energy prices. Yeah, we know what is happening. Yeah, the prices are peaking of energy, and renewable PPAs, they are lasting for 5 or 10 years. You can get the same price for the for energy, for example, for this period of time. So it's really not only something, let's say, that it's very good for your ESG policy, but definitely it's something that it's really from economical point of view very important.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Piotr, for joining us today, and I hope we get the opportunity to revisit your progress sometime in the near future.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. As always, please get in touch with us at contact@greeneuropetoday.com if you would like to appear on one of our shows, or indeed would like more information on how you could join the European Sustainable Business Network. Make sure to visit our YouTube channel and subscribe to our show. Thank you very much for watching today, and see you again next week. Goodbye.